channel. Today we'll be discussing done in an agile sprint. So, in several videos I have been discussing with you the concept of done, right? Why is done so important? Why do we keep saying done and done, right? So today we'll finally discuss done in detail. So getting a story done has several components to it. First and foremost, you got to get the different testing passed, right? We in the previous video we've discussed a lot about the details of different testing aspects to it, and getting all those tests done contributes to getting a story done. Code, right? Very fundamental part of a story, right? Getting the code developed, reviewed. So the developer, the peer, the code reviewer, they're critical pieces of getting a story done. And this is an important integral part of the story. Acceptance criteria. This is where the UAT, user acceptance testing, the product owner, the business owner, they all come into play, right? They help contribute to the requirements for the story, and they will have some requirements that need to be met. So the accept criteria is very important, and meeting that is contributing to getting a story done. Functional test. Again, there are different parts of testing. Unit testing is the developer, functional is more on the business side, making sure that all of those are, getting completed successfully is contributing to getting a story done. Sometimes there are going to be non-functional requirements. Guess what? Last time I spoke about load testing, right? That's not necessarily a functional requirement, right? But yet, if you have a large website, a large number of consumers, subscribers, whatever, right? Come to your website, your Amazon, or whoever, you're a big FANG company, you might have some functional requirements. Hey, I want to add a shopping cart or whatever, right? Feature. But if you have a million subscribers, consumers, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million people coming to your site, if you can't meet that load or performance, criteria, then your story is not done. In fact, you have a disaster on hands when it goes to production. So those non-functional requirements being met are important, getting a story done. Uh, Important part is, the product owner, right? Because ultimately this person is driving, the product decisions, and they define the different stories, and uh, the requirements, the acceptance criteria, all of those, need to be signed off. Like I spoke about in the last video about the testing being reviewed, approved, all of that falls under this category where the product owner agrees with the story. And that's an important part of getting a story done. Very important. People don't like to do this documentation, right? But like, hey, you're creating some services, right? Uh, REST services. Many companies will follow like a service inventory documentation. All of those need to be created, when we go to production, these things matter, or when you're doing fresh development or whatever, right? The basic documentation, sanity, should always exist. We must always follow that protocol. The Scrum Master has a responsibility here to make sure that those are created. He or she must be creating the right subtasks, getting them assigned to the developers or whoever else is doing the documentation for you, and making sure that the story is not done till that documentation is in place. And that I've spoken about this in the past too, right? Like when we discuss the video about subtasks, sometimes you're going to have custom subtasks, right, that are relevant to that story. Not everything falls in this category of developer and QA and integrated testing or load testing, right, or documentation. There's sometimes there's something unique. for that story, and it needs to be created and tracked and closed out. And without that, the story is not done. So again, that's critical. So with that, I think I've kind of highlighted primarily the different aspects of getting a story to a done state. And we've discussed this a lot today. Hopefully, you found this useful. With this, I would like to end my series today on Agile Sprint. I'm going to recap on all the different videos I've created for you all. I hope you all have enjoyed it, learned from it. Please do share your comments and let me know if you all would like to learn anything further in on Agile Sprints or any topic you all want me to get into more details. So just to recap, we've discussed sprint retrospectives, we've discussed the Scrum Poker session, we have discussed user story grooming, we've discussed sprint planning and daily scrums, right? We've discussed how to handle hotfixes in agile sprints. We've discussed subtasks. We've discussed testing. And today we discuss done in an agile sprint. So, different parts of the agile sprint cycle I've tried to cover. Again, feel free to leave your comments, and I'd love to hear your feedback on how you enjoyed and learned from this series. With that, again, like I said, today was the end of the uh, Agile Sprint series. From next week, we'll be starting a new series handling production incidents, and I would love to share with you my real life experiences on how to handle production incidents. Thank you again, and do subscribe to our channel.